What's going on, world? It's your boy, Bentley B Rock. I'm in the spot. I know it's been a while. All the time I keep putting the mic down. I keep focusing on my other projects and other ideas and other things I want to bring to the world. It's like just being this creative ball of energy that I want to just share with the world. I do want to get back on the podcast game or vlogging game. I'm not sure if podcast is hot right now, but I still want to vlog a little bit and share my ideas on different books that I've been reading, that's been inspiring me, that's been motivating me, that's been centering me, that's been directing me and pushing me to continue the fight of creativity, the fight of growth, the fight of change, the fight of inspiring others. So I know this book has been out for a while now. It has done its numbers, became a bestseller. A lot of people like it. A lot of people from my background, my community, love it. We're gonna talk about Rich Paul's book, Lucky Me. And I'm gonna do this off the cuffs, matter of fact, I think I wrote some notes. Hold on. All right, I do. I got some notes on it. Yep. So lucky you. I got my notes. Here we go. All right, because I'll be all over the place. I'm like an organized, unorganized, or unorganized, organized type person. I don't know. Either one. It works for me sometimes. Not all the time. Sometimes I'm like, damn, I forgot that. But no, I think Rich Paul, being the hottest sports agent in the game, decided to write a book about his life lessons. And then he separates himself from the crowd, and how he separated himself from the crowd of sports agents to be his own like mogul in this space. Like, to me, like, Rich Paul is the first. Like, we grew up in hip hop. I grew up in hip hop where, Rich Paul is basically showing himself as, like, I know it's not popular to say Diddy, but as the entertainment mogul that found that one artist that basically catapulted this genre, this idea that a black figure can lead the charge. I mean, I know it could go further back, and I'm not privy to all the sports agents, especially black sports agents that trailblazed. Just like in music, I'm not privy to every black person that played a role in music that has trailblazed. I know we know Berry Gordy and different people like that, but we still don't know the people from the 1900s, 1920s, 1930s. It's brothers out there that probably been trailblazing to help push black music as much as, when we pick up in the 70s and the 80s and 90s to see different figures in music that look like us that's actually trailblazing and being the figurehead or the CEO of the company. So I won't say that I know every sports agent that came before Rich Paul, but what I will say is, once I've seen a brother like Rich Paul come to light, speak his truth, and identify himself as someone from the bottom with it, the struggle with it, and then actually know how to work the rooms, know how to build the relationships, know how to network the right way, and know how to incorporate his ideas to be able to take athletes to a new height. I mean, obviously, we see what he did with LeBron. Some may say LeBron needs to retire. Some may say LeBron is an icon and he needs to rock on as long as possible. I'll leave that up to the critics. I think LeBron did a great job. What he was given, his talent. I feel like in our era, he's the greatest of all time. In this era, in this time, he's the greatest of all time. It may be another time somebody else come on and be greater, and it definitely was times before him that we had some GOATs. as well. And we all know Michael Jordan is the creme de la creme of GOATs if you grew up in that era. So I say Lucky Me take place in Cleveland, Ohio, when the crack was the drug of choice. And crack may be the drug of choice for some people today, who knows? But I know when I was growing up, that was the hottest ticket to make some money. If you wanted to make some money, you go sit in a dope spot. You get what I'm saying? And you had your opportunity to come up quickly. So he's identifying this space when everybody's just trying to figure out how to get to it, how to get to that bag. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it takes a lot of survival tactics when you think about that stuff. Like, I know people want to talk negative about the streets, right? I don't celebrate everything that come through the streets. I damn sure don't celebrate the murders. I don't celebrate when people, you know, take down good people that really been trying to help the community, regardless of how they went about trying to help the community. They really tried to help and uplift the community by providing jobs, opportunity, cash flow, giving back to the kids. I support them people, regardless of how they went about it. As long as they, like I said, there's certain rules and ethics to the streets, whether people want to identify them or not. And not, like I said, I don't celebrate everything that comes through the streets, you know. But I do appreciate the people that did at the time when I didn't have sneakers, or at the time I didn't have a coat, or I didn't have a book bag, or I didn't have school supplies, took the time out, took the money out their own pocket and said, hey, go get you some sneakers. Hey, go get you a book bag. Hey, go get you a coat. You know, I'm from that generation of kids, and I identify with those people that took care of the community, to be honest. Like I said, I was interested. It's interesting how he decided to write the book from a standpoint of his father's influence on him. Like, you know, if you don't know Rich Paul's story, he was basically a bastard child, you know, far as his father really being married to another woman at the time and having him out of wedlock with his mother, but still playing a pivotal role in his life. You know what I'm saying? Still playing that role where he wanted to make sure that the boy know he had a father, and not just some old random guy who wasn't doing nothing with himself, but actually a guy who understood business, understood community, understood relationships, and understood the importance of it all. You know, of taking care of your own people, of looking at your people in high regards, and building something in your community that can make a difference, that can make an impact, that can positively impact people's lives. And his father played that role in his life or whatnot, which is important because, you know, when people talk about the hood and the ghetto, they just want to talk about the desperation, and they want to talk about the things that make the hood, gives the hood the bad name. But sometimes it's figures in the hood that try their best to provide hope, aspiration, inspiration, love, caring, and just try their best to just say, hey man, things ain't as bad as the news try to make it seem sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You do got some good people out there that's trying their best to try to build this community up. And I like to think of myself as one now, like just from that standpoint of being around people that see people in your neighborhood and be like, man, look, you can be more than this, you can do more than this, you can have more than this. And that don't mean that you have to run away to do it. That means get it and try to figure out a way to uplift the people that's around you right now. Once again, he shared the chaos of the drug epidemic. He shared how his love for Dice got him the name as the kid around Cleveland, and how Dice used to talk to him when he felt he was going to win the next role. I mean, everybody, like whatever's your game, I guess. You know, I never really was a dice guy. I don't even know how to play cards, to be honest. I only bet on myself. How about that? Rich story is reminiscent of a modern day Donald Goins book. And that's how I feel, because it's filled with trauma as a child, while still showing love and wanting to be loved at the same time. If you ever experienced a Donald Goins book, it has all those elements. Whenever you get an opportunity to really listen to a Donald Goins book, you will see like it has those different like I said, elements to it, where like it got the story, it got the trauma, it got the redemption, and it got the lesson. It has the lesson. I say his persona reminds me of a time when I watched the Guy Fisher documentary, and one of the detectives that was being interviewed said how the kingpins of the 70s ran such a sophisticated operation that given the chance, they can probably run a Fortune 500 company. 50 Cent, Jay-Z, and Rich Paul was given that chance. And they ain't fucking around. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I wrote that as a thought as well, what I thought about the book. Because it's just like anything else. You know, when you come from a network of people that don't have all the opportunities, that don't have all the connections to the top, and you just got to figure out how you can basically use what you have, use the tools you have, you know what I'm saying, to grow what you need to grow, you know, to get that one seed and turn that lemon into a lemon factory. Some people turn the lemon into lemonade, and some people try to figure out how to turn this lemon into a lemon factory where we can create jobs for others and we can create and establish generational wealth for ourselves. And I think Rich Paul, 50 Cent, these guys, they done did that for themselves and their families in so many ways. And like I said, I remember that documentary years ago I watched, where the detective said that. He was like, man, look, some of these guys are so smart and so bright, and they organized. They run a sophisticated multi-million-dollar operations. These guys ain't just the guys on the corner that's trying to make $100 a day. These guys are trying to make $1 million a week, you know, $2 million a week. So you have to have a level of intelligence, a level of just awareness to even build something that strong and that long lasting and that important to the culture of helping people around you. Like I said, I never down the person that by any means necessary try to help their people, because if you look at the history of anything, everybody's not going to agree with anybody's method of trying to help the people around them. I personally find it sad that so many hood stories are the same, with the drug infestation, crime, and self-hatred. What's worse is some of us use our lack of having a better life as a badge of honor. Some will go to the extent to act as if you're not hood enough or not good enough. As Kanye said, we're taught to hate ourselves and love their wealth. That's why shorties holler where the ball is at. Drug dealers buy Jordans, crackhead buy crack, and the white man get paid off for all of that. I just pray one day we truly wake up and see systems for what they are, and stop making your brother your enemy, and move with a little more integrity. Now, I mean, that's self-explanatory what I wrote. It is sad. A lot of these nothing to something books that I read, it does start with the same story, like just a struggle, a fight. And you know, the thing about my vlogging or my podcast, whatever you want to call this thing that I do, I find it important that we talk about the character of the person. You know, like a lot of these books that I try to share with you is about character build, how to build the proper mindset, the proper character that'll take you forward. You know, so I don't just come from a place of this person already having a inheritance. No, this person having nothing and having to figure out how to maneuver in this warfare, how to adapt and change to the times to make their life better. You know, I think that's super important when you think about life. Like, what type of person would you have to be to navigate these waters? You know, so I even me coming from a struggle background, it's like you have to put the right ingredients in yourself to even navigate how to get from point A to point B. Now look, I'm gonna be honest, every point ain't as fluent and as easy as it should be. Sometimes, to me, it's not. You would think, like, if you're a good person and you treat people well and you speak well and you're very intelligent, that people would embrace that. Some people reject that. Some people are intimidated by that. They fear that. They don't like the fact that you may be a smart African-American man. That's from the bottom at that. Nah, you're not Harvard. You're not a Harvard grad. You're not from Yale. But you're yelling out that you need help and you know how to go about getting that bag, and you're trying to figure out who's the right people to talk to that can help that motion, that can get that thing going for you. You know what I'm saying? And everybody doesn't embrace it. And that's just the truth. Some people are intimidated by it. Some people fear that about you, the fact that you're very knowledgeable. Some people want you to be the, like my hand's ashy knuckles. But some people want you to be the dummy, the do whatever I tell you to do type person, you know? And it doesn't always work out for you when you're that person. But it doesn't always work out for you when you're the smartest person in the room either. So you gotta know how to maneuver and manipulate. Not saying manipulation is the greatest thing, but shit, if you got to figure out how to operate in this room where you don't come off intimidating, but you're definitely not the dummy either, that's just smart business. That's knowing how to move. That's knowing how to operate. Knowing how to, hey, sometimes I need to be more quiet than I speak. Sometimes I need to speak more than I be quiet. You got to know when to do these things, you know, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I go in rooms and I want to let everybody know, I think I'm a genius. And some people might be like, well, I ain't fucking with him because he thinks he's a genius. And if you're a fucking genius, go out there in the world and figure it out, and you're not going to get it through me. And then that's something that I got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Same way on the other foot. If you go in these rooms and be too quiet, people are like, oh, I need somebody who's more confident than this person. He can't lead because he's not confident. He's not outspoken. I don't believe people will follow him because he's too quiet. But you gotta just know when to speak up and when to just tone it down and say, hey, all right, this person might be more receptive to me being a great listener, and this person and the next person might be more receptive to me being a more outspoken individual. So, and you learn these things through character building, through building that stuff up, to knowing what type of attitude you gotta have when you're trying to accomplish whatever goal you're trying to accomplish. So that's important. I don't want to keep going in because I definitely want you to read the book. I know it was a bestseller. I know a lot of people read it. I'm just sharing my thoughts on it. Like I said, I really appreciate it. Something that stuck out to me was when Rich talked about habits. See, here we go, habits. Habits build character. How habits separate good from the great. How he knows a few players that could have been $100 million richer if they had the proper habits in place. Like instead of hitting the club during the playoffs, they chose to be well rested and study film, how many millions we all leave on the table due to our habits, distractions, and self-sabotage. Now, I'm one of them guys. Truly, I'm one of them guys that self-sabotage. You know, like I said, coming from a broken background and trying to figure out how to fix yourself and fix things around you. You're gonna pick up habits. You're gonna pick up things that may not be the best for you. And even just learning how to pick your crowds, the people that you choose to be around, the people that you choose to be impressed by, the people that you choose to want to, help you, along this journey once again, can sometimes come off. Self-sabotaging because, in the beginning, you're trying to be the homie. You're trying to be whatever my homeboy is on, I'm on. Whatever they doing, I'm doing. Wherever they going, I'm going. And then you might wake up one day and say, hey, man, my homeboys don't know shit. But the big homie knows stuff. So whatever he's on, I'm on. Wherever he's going, I'm going. Whatever he's doing, I'm doing. However he's living, I want to live. You know what I'm saying? If he got multiple women, I want multiple women. If he got multiple cars, I want multiple. It's like, sometimes we put ourselves in these arenas where it's not even real growth. It's just a show growth. It's acting like you know growth, but you don't know nothing. You're not really going nowhere. You're a hamster on the wheel. So you gotta be able to identify when you're self-sabotaging. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes you be so distracted and self-sabotage that you dig a hole. You dig a hole for yourself. Now you gotta dig yourself out that hole by building a better you, a better character version of you. And we all go through these phases. And there's nobody at the pinnacle. Even when a person got $1 billion, he could still be a better individual. He could still accolade those funds in better arenas. You know what I'm saying? He could put those funds into better use. You know what I mean? You telling me you got people who got $100 billion, but we still got, homeless people on the street that can't even afford homes. Like, that just don't make sense. You got a credit system that locks people out of better living conditions, but they make more than enough money, but we use their mistakes against them and say, hey, since you made that mistake 10 years ago, you can't get this apartment today, or you can't get this house today, which is bonkers to me, If we gonna reform anything, we need to reform that credit system, I'm telling you. Yeah, the credit worked for some of us who know how to crack the code, but if something only works for the few and not the many, then we should review it. That's just how I feel. Like I said, it was a great book, man. I got a couple more notes. I said, with this book, we can honestly point out the narrative away, put the narrative away that LeBron put Rich on. I think Rich positioned himself like most self-reliant, independent thinkers to be ready to give and receive at any stage of his life. The fact that he met LeBron at a stage of his life where his heart desire changed and was able to build relationship with him without letting his own demons corrupt the situation speaks volumes of the character that Rich Paul possesses. So, once again, we talking about a brother who came from the bottom, east side of Cleveland, who been through a lot of the same triumphs, trials, and tribulations that a lot of us from the ghetto experience. And some of us don't make it out. Some of us don't even make it to a point where we could tell our stories. Some of us stories get cut off by the jail system or by the grave system, by going to the grave at an early death due to just trying to figure out these streets. And to get to a point where you avoid all those two things, those two perils, really, because them things could really stop your show. Going to prison for a long time can stop your show, just like getting killed early in the game, and nobody know where your heart was at, where your mind was at, and where you planned on going with your life. And I feel like brothers like Rich Paul was fortunate to see what they were doing, to identify like, yo man, I'm moving in the wrong direction, I'm going down the wrong road, and this is not how to go about helping the people around me, you know. And when you see that for what it is, and then you start to use your talents and gifts, your talent to inspire, your talent to network, your talent to make people feel comfortable in your presence, and you go and meet the #1 high school player in the damn country at the time, and make this person feel like, yo, you a good dude, man, I want to keep you around. You know what I'm saying? And not on some old sucker shit, just on some, yo, I need some real people around me, and you one of the realest people I ever met. And I trust what you say, I trust how you move, and I trust how you do. And I trust that if I bring you into this fold, you're gonna only make it better for all of us. You're gonna make it better for me, you're gonna make it better for my family, and you're gonna make it better for my team. You get what I'm saying? So for LeBron to see that in a person like Rich, you can't say LeBron put him on. He put himself on. He put himself on through his character, his mindset, his attitude, his approach to life, and how he desired to show that, yo, I'm bigger than what these streets done gave me. I'm better than what the streets could offer me. And I could do more for the streets when I build up this empire. Which we all see, that's what Rich is doing, you know. I had the benefit of meeting a brother one night at an Atlanta Hawks game. And I'm gonna tell you, it was just me and him, no security guard. Now he probably running with security and everything, he too big. But at the time when I met the brother, he was by himself. And if I would have known that he had the same story as me, you know, as far as the drug background, the crime background, I didn't know these things about this brother, I would have greeted him with a bigger embrace. But the fact that he still took the time out to speak to me, I mean, one-on-one, and just gave me a picture and all that, you know. And in my head, I kick myself every day, like I wish I could have just shared with him that I'm from the same struggle, I'm from the same story. And maybe that relationship might end rich, but maybe it was meant for me to tell you this story, and then and just let it grow. However the seed plants and grows, it's gonna do what it do regardless. And what's meant to be will be. And what wasn't, or what came to pass was what it was what it was. It is what it is, as they say. But like I said, man, Rich did what he had to do, did what he was supposed to do to grow his life and take his life to the next level. And I commend him for that. And the book is great. If you get a chance to read it, if you haven't got a chance to read it, I hope you guys do. I got more notes, but I'm not about to give you all my notes. I really want you to go out there and read it for yourself, check it out for yourself, enjoy it, embrace it. If you're from the world I'm from, then it has a lot of life lessons about character build. I think a lot of times when we talk about wealth, and we talk about building money, and we talk about building teams, and we talk about building something that's everlasting, we don't talk about the character of the person. We only talk about the bank account. And that's why they say mindset is everything. So I think it's super important to build the right mindset when you're trying to accomplish these goals. But like I said, man, I hope you guys read it. I hope you guys check it out. And it's your boy, Bentley Bree Rock. I know I change my name up all the time. I'm the same guy. Bentley Bree Rock, man. And there's dope books and bottles. Like I said, we're going to try to be more consistent with this brand too. This idea right here of me sharing the books I read. You know, and who knows, maybe this might grow into a space where I could get these authors to come on and we could talk about it, and we could ask them for themselves what they think about what they were reading, writing, and why they wrote what they wrote. But until then, you're just gonna get my ideas, my thoughts, and my position on it, my perspective. All right, one love, peace and love. Talk to you soon. Peace.